Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Juan. I am a yarn addict, hence the name Juan the Yarn Addict, and I want to thank each and every one of you guys for stopping by to check out my video today. Today I offer you a tutorial. The tutorial is for midnight windows, which is what I'm wearing. So obviously midnight because of how dark it is, and windows because of all the windows that are in the stitches here. So it's a very versatile project here. You can wear it dressed up, you can wear it dressed down. It's a lot of fun. It's very easy. It's a 4-row repeat that repeats 11 times for a total of 44 rows. It's very easy. It's 76 inches going this way, just over 6 feet long, by 28 inches, which is just over 2 feet going this way. It's not your perfect triangle. It's elongated, so that's why sometimes you'll hear me reference it as a scarf. But call it what you want. A scarf, a hug, a shawl, it does not matter. We're totally inclusive here, so call it what you want, but the name of it is called Midnight Windows, okay? And I used Bernat Super Value in the colorway Charcoal Heather. It took 2 skeins to complete, and I used a 5mm crochet hook to do this project. All of the information that I just said will be in the description box, so if you missed any bits, don't worry, it'll be there, okay? So without further ado, I'm going to show you all of this sitting here, and then I'm going to show you again in tutorial mode just so you have a close-up view of what it is that we're embarking on today. So midnight windows, again, it's Bernat Super Value in the colorway Charcoal Heather, so it is a heathered yarn, which is totally awesome. It's very nice, and I'll give a close-up view in tutorial mode as well. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Okay, friends, so let me just give you a close-up view of the midnight windows. I love this charcoal color. It's amazing. So again, it's a 4-row repeat in between sets of windows. You have double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, then a row of double crochet, and then you have your front post, then a row of double crochet, and then windows. And that's literally it. And it just repeats itself 11 times. It's very basic and simple, but effective. It complements any outfit. I mean, it is a dark color, which is nice. And as I mentioned, I used Bernat Super Value in the colorway Charcoal Heather. And this particular project took 2 skeins to complete, and I used a 5mm crochet hook. Okay? So let me go ahead and move all this out of the way, and we'll get the tutorial started. Okay, friends, so for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and use 4-weight yarn from Loops and Threads. And then I'm going to use a 6mm crochet hook, otherwise known as USJ. We're also going to need a pair of scissors, and we're going to need a darning needle to sew in our ends when we're all done. So there's that. Without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Let's go ahead and get started by creating a slip knot. However you do this is perfectly fine as long as the end result is this, okay? From here, what we need to do is chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, just like that. From here, we need to insert the head of our hook into the first chain, grab our yarn, pull through, and pinch with your middle finger and your thumb the chains and tug on the working yarn and the head of your hook, just like that. And what'll happen is it'll create a circle there. All right, just be mindful of your tail. So with your thumb and your middle finger, you're just going to go ahead and hold on to that tail. Chain 2, and then go back into that circle with 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to chain 2, and then we're going to insert our hook in the circle again for 4 more double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So there's that. We have 4 double crochets, chain 2, 4 double crochets. we're going to go ahead and chain 2. And at the end of every round throughout this entire project, the chain 2s do not count as a stitch. They literally just help grow out the project. So we're going to go ahead and turn our work. And also something else to note, that the first stitch right here and the last stitch right here will always receive 3 stitches. And that also will help grow out the scarf or the shawl or the hug, however you want to call it. Okay, so 3 stitches in the beginning and 3 stitches at the end of every row. Okay, so for row 2, we're going to start off by inserting 3 double crochets into this first stitch. So 1, 2, and 3, just like that. Okay, now what we need to do is we're going to do front post double crochets in the next 3 stitches. So these 3 double crochets from the first row will now help us create the front post double crochets in this row. So how we do that, let me just finish this one, is we're going to loop over, go down and around the stitch, grab the yarn, and perform our double crochet like so, like that. Let's do it again the 3rd time. Just like that. And then now we're at the apex. So the top of our triangle here, I call the apex. So at the apex, we're just going to put in a standard double crochet. Just like that. Chain 2. And then go back into the apex with another double crochet. Just like that. We have 3 double crochets from row 1, which will receive 3 front post double crochets. 1, 2, and 3, just like that. Okay, and in this last stitch, as I just mentioned, we will do 3 double crochets like so, like this. Okay, so let's just recap. We started the row with 3 double crochets, and then we did 3 front post double crochets right here, and then in the apex we did double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, and then here on the other side we did 3 front post doubles, and in the last stitch we did 3 double crochets right here. Okay, so we're at the end of the row. As I said previously, we chain 2 and turn our work. And so this is what the front side is looking like now. Our very first ridge. It's nice. Okay, so for row 3, we're going to start off by putting 3 double crochets in the very first stitch right here. 1, 2, and 3, just like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create our windows. So we're going to start off by chain 1 and skip 1. And then in the next stitch, we're going to put in a double crochet, just like that. Chain 1, skip. Okay, chain 1 and skip. Go into that next stitch, and this is where you should be. Okay, so let's recap. 3 double crochets in the first stitch. You're going to chain 1 and skip 1, and then go into that next stitch there with a double crochet, chain 1 and skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, and now you should be at the stitch right before the apex, just like that. And the apex, my friends, will always receive a stitch, chain 2, a stitch. In our case, it's always going to be a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. So double, chain 2, and then a double. Just like that. And then whatever happens on the one side will always happen on the other side. So the stitch right before the apex had a double crochet in it, so we're going to go ahead and put a double crochet in this next stitch right here. And that's what's going to start our windows. So we have a stitch, we're going to chain one and skip one and go into the next one with a double. Chain one, skip one, go in with a double. Chain one, skip one, and go in with a double. But if you noticed, it's your last stitch. So whatever happens on this side will happen on this side. So we have to add 2 more double crochets to finish the row because it is the last stitch. So that's what this is looking like. So let's recap again. So the first stitch got 3 double crochets. Chain one, skip one, and we went all the way up to the apex. The apex received a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. And then going down the side here, we mimicked this. So double crochet, and then a window, chain one, skip one, double crochet, went down, and then at the last stitch here, it received 3 double crochets. Okay? So now let's chain 2, as always, and turn our work. And so this row, my friends, will again be double crochet, but it's going to be double crochet in every stitch. So in the first stitch, it's going to get 3 double crochets because, as I said, every row will always start with 3 stitches. And for this project, every row will receive 3 double crochets in the very first stitch, and will always receive 3 double crochets at the end of every row. Okay? So now what we need to do is we have the 3 here. We're going to insert double crochets in all of these stitches right here, going across row 3 here. Okay? So let's go ahead and do that. And then once you get to a window, you just go in the window to create your double crochet. And then go into the top of the stitch, go into the window, go into the top of the stitch, go in the window, the top of the stitch, just like that, top of the stitch, and here we are at the apex. So the apex, as I mentioned, will always receive a double crochet, chain 2, and a double crochet. So that's what this side is looking like. All right, go ahead and finish this side. So we're going to go ahead and double crochet, whoops, go into the window, and then on the top of the stitch, into the window, and then on the top of the stitch, just like that. Okay, in the window, and then across the top here. We're at the last 3 stitches, so I did the one there, so we're going to do a double crochet here, and then in this last stitch right here, we're going to go ahead and insert 3 double crochets in that last stitch. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so let's just chain 2 here, and turn our work. Let's just lay it all flat out here. And that's kind of what we're looking like. So I just want to show you, this is a 4-row repeat. Okay, so that's the end of the pattern. So we have a row of double crochet, and then front post double crochet. Then we have windows, and then double crochet. Okay, so for row 5, because we're repeating it, it literally is going to be another row of double crochet. So 2 rows of double crochet will be back to back. Okay, so in this first stitch, 3 double crochets, just like that, and then we're going to insert a double crochet into every stitch from the previous row. go ahead and do that, and I will meet you at the apex. Okay, friends, so here I am at the apex. As always, we get a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, just like that. And then we're going to insert a double crochet into every stitch as per the pattern. And we're going to continue down until we get to the end of the row. So continue doing that, and I shall see you at the end of the row. Okay, so here I am at the end of the row. So this is row 5, and we're going to go ahead and loop over, go into the last stitch there, making sure that you grab both parts of the stitch there. There's 2 parts there. And you're going to insert 3 double crochets in that last stitch. Just like that. Chain 2, let's turn our work. Okay, so for this round here, row 6, it's going to be as per the pattern, if you look, in case you ever get lost. So row 1, row 2. So row 2 is the front post double crochets. So that's what we're going to do next. Okay, so we're going to start the row with 3 double crochets in the first stitch, because why? At the first and at the end of every single row, we get 3 double crochets in that stitch. Okay. Once we have the 3 done, we're going to go into that very first stitch right there. Remember, the chains don't count, so ignore those. Go right into that very first stitch with a front post double crochet. And you're going to continue doing that all the way up the side, just like this. Okay, continue doing that, guys, and I shall see you at the end of the row. But bear in mind, once you get up here, remember, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, and then continue on with your front post double crochets, and I'll see you down here at the end. Okay, friends, so here I am at the end of the row. This is row 6 I'm at the end of, where we're doing front post double crochets. And I just wanted to remind you guys that when you are doing your front post double crochets in this row for row 6, and every row that you get front post double crochets, when you approach the end, I mean, I've done this many times where I've accidentally gone in and did that last stitch. Just be mindful that you need to leave that last one alone, because in the last stitch it needs to get 3 double crochets. So just take a quick look at the end of your rows and make sure that only 2 of the 3 get the front posts. And that last one there will go ahead and get 3 double crochets from us. 1, 2, and 3, just like that. And it remains consistent all the way through. Okay? So for row 3 is part of our pattern here. So it's turning out very nice. And it's okay if it does all of this, it's fine. As you saw in the completed project, it doesn't stay that way forever. Okay, so this is row 7. Down here, 1, 2, it was row 3. So it's going to get windows. All right, and so the first stitch will receive 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3, as was with all the previous rows, right? 3 double crochets. And then from here, we chain 1 and skip 1 and go into that second stitch there with a double crochet. Then we're going to chain 1 and skip 1 and then insert another double crochet. And we're going to continue this pattern all the way up the side. Skip. Okay, chain 1 and skip. Then you're going to go double crochet in that stitch, just like that. Chain 1, skip 1. Continue doing that, and I will see you at the end of this row. Don't forget, in the apex, it's a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. Okay? Okay, so here we are at the end of row 7. Okay, so I just wanted to show you this because we're at the chain 3 from the previous row. I'm sorry, the 3 double crochets from the previous row. So if you're doing this correctly, which by now we should, right? So it was a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, and then we copied the side, and it's going to be the same in every windows row. You're going to have 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Well, let me just break this down for you. So in the apex, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, and then in the very next stitch you're going to have a double crochet. And then you're going to do windows all the way down. And then down here you should only have 1 double crochet in the very first double crochet from the cluster here. Then you're going to chain 1, which I've already done. You're going to skip this one, and then there should be 3 double crochets in the last stitch, just like this. Okay, let me back up a little bit. Okay. All right. So as long as you're following this pattern, you're going to be perfectly fine. So just a recap of the row here, 3 double crochets and then windows all the way up, double crochet, chain 1, skip ones, and then you're always going to end on that last stitch. If you look down, we ended on that last stitch of the row, and then we did a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, and then we just copied the side and went down. Same thing up here. We ended the row up here with a stitch, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, then we went into the very next stitch because we have to copy here. Then we did windows all the way down, and then we wound up putting 3 double crochets in the end here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do row 8. Chain 2, turn our work. And by the way, guys, the side that does not have the ridges is the back side. With the ridges, that's the showpiece, that's the front side. Okay, that should be a given, but I'm just saying it anyway. All right, so the first stitch gets 3 double crochets, as with every other row. So there's that. And then now we're inserting double crochets into every stitch going down the row. And inside the windows, that also gets a double crochet. On the top of the stitch, in the window, on top of the stitch, if I can manage to hold on to my yarn. Okay, so continue doing this, and I will meet you at the end of row 8. Okay, friends, so here I am at the end of row 8 with 1 stitch remaining. So we're going to go ahead and go into that with 3 double crochets. Just like that. Okay, so we have 2 repeats here. I'm actually liking this thicker version with the fuller 4-weight yarn. Look how nice that is, the stitch definition. Love that. Okay, so that's 2 full repeats. To do this project in a thinner 4-weight yarn, you're going to need to do 11. For the thicker weight yarn, I would suggest start with 9 and then measure going this way. Once you get to just over 2 feet, you're finished. That's kind of the guide mark there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead off camera and do a few more repeats to kind of show you what this is looking like in a lighter color, and I will be right back. Okay, friends, so here we are. I just completed a couple more repeats here. So we have 4 sets of 4 completed here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're at 16 rows, and because we have windows, you know, it may be a little wonky, and that's okay. Just continue going. Your stitches are perfect. Everything is in a row. Okay, and so let me just take a quick measurement after 4, and I'll be able to tell you exactly. Okay, so yep. So you're going to need a total of 10 repeats with a thicker 4-weight yarn to achieve the correct distance between start here and the ending here. And for this, it would be 28 inches going this way. Okay, so if you're using a thicker 4-weight yarn, you're going to repeat this 10 times. Okay, and then if you're using a thinner 4-weight yarn, you're going to go 11 times. Okay, so the back side looks like this. It's flat. Look at those stitches. Love that. Slide that in there. Love that. Yeah, this is really nice. Okay, so yes, this wraps up this portion of the tutorial. Let me go ahead and, well, you guys know how to do the ends, but just in case, we're going to cut off. Well, I always like to chain 2 at the very end. If you're finishing your project, I chain 2, and then I squeeze and pull down, and it creates like a double knot there. So then I flip it to the back side here. Pinch and stuff through. Just like that. And then I do a zigzag technique. So what I do is I try to grab some fibers as I'm weaving in here. Just go in between, just like that. Then I go back, almost exactly the same way, but not really. Grab some fibers along the way, just like that. And we're going to turn it around and go one final pass, just like that. And then we're going to take the scissors, snip, all gone. And then as for this, I'll just give that a little tug. Since I actually held on to it as I made the row, just give it a little tug and then cut. And then you're good as gold. So that, my friends, wraps up this tutorial. I'll have specifics in the description box in terms of, you know, how many repeats with what yarn and so on and so forth. So that's all I have for this tutorial, guys. If you enjoyed this, please feel free to hit like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already subscribed, and then of course turn the notification bell on to stay updated with me and my channel. I hope you enjoyed this, and until the next one, guys, take care. Bye-bye.